Welcome to today's lecture. In the previous lecture, we had started looking at the notion of rate of change of a function at a point. The rate of change of a function at a point essentially is very useful in analyzing various quantities in various fields. So, we defined for a function f of x the rate of change at a point say c to be the ratio of f of c plus h minus f of c divided by h, limit h going to 0. We said geometrically this indicates if this limit exists at a point c, x is equal to c, it indicates it gives us the slope of the tangent to the graph of the function at the point x equal to c. In physics or in mechanics, you can think of this giving the notion of instant speed at a given moment x, so at c. So, if f of x is the distance, then f of x plus h minus f of x is the distance travelled in time h. So, divided by h limit, that gives you the rate of change of the distance at that point c or x. So, that is the notion of limit, notion of derivative gives you the notion of velocity or net velocity or speed of the body. So, we will keep that mathematically that the limit of a function f at a point c, the limit of the quantity f of c plus h minus f of c divided by h, h going to 0, if this exists, this we will say f is differentiable at the point c and denoted by f dash of c. We looked at some simple examples to compute the derivative. For the constant function, we showed it is equal to 0 at every point, and for a linear function y equal to mx plus c, it is differentiable everywhere with the derivative being equal to the slope m at every point. For more complicated functions, there are tools which are actually theorems in mathematics that help us to compute derivative for functions. So, we will look at those theorems today and see some of their applications. So, let us look at what are called the rules for differentiation. This is a theorem. So, let us take functions f and g defined in a domain a b taking values in R. So, domain is a open interval a b and c is a point in the open interval a b. So, let us say that both the functions f and g are differentiable at the point x is equal to c. Then the first claim is the function f plus g also the function f minus g. So, if you add two differentiable functions, then the sum and the difference is also differentiable at the point x is equal to c, and the derivative of f plus g at c is derivative of f plus minus the derivative of g. So, you can say derivative of the sum is equal to sum of the derivatives, derivative of the difference is equal to difference of the derivatives. So, but this keep in mind, if both f and g are differentiable, then only you can calculate the derivative of f plus g. Next, let us look at scalar multiple of a function f. If f is differentiable at c, then alpha f, that is scalar multiple of f with the scalar alpha of the function, is also differentiable, and the derivative of alpha f is equal to alpha times the derivative of f. So, alpha comes out. So, these two properties essentially say that the differentiation is a linear operation. If we take the derivative, that is equal to the sum of the derivative. If we multiply by a scalar and take the derivative, that is equal to scalar multiple of the derivative. Next, let us look at the product rule, which says if f and g are differentiable functions, then you can multiply them and get a new function. So, the theorem says that if f and g are both differentiable at a point x is equal to c, then the product is also differentiable, and this gives us a way of computing the derivative. This is called the product rule. It says the derivative of f and g, the product, is the sum of two terms. And what are the two terms? First is f x into g dash x, that is a contribution from the derivative of g, with a multiple of f. So, f x into g dash x plus f dash x into g x. So, for the product rule, each one contributes, each derivative contributes with multiples of the other. So, f into g dash, the derivative of f g is f g dash plus f dash g. You can also try to remember it as there are two functions, the first function into the second function. So, derivative of first into second is equal to first function into derivative of second plus derivative of first into second. So, take one by one and add them. So, this is called the product rule. So, this gives us a way of computing derivative of a product. A similar formula occurs when it is differentiable. So, quotient rule. So, it says if two functions f and g are differentiable and g of c is not equal to 0, this is a very crucial condition, g of c not equal to 0, because you are going to divide by c, right. So, it says that if g of c is not equal to 0, then f over g is defined in a neighborhood of c, which we are not stating here, but the consequence is, because for differentiability of a function, the function should be defined in a neighborhood, otherwise you cannot look at the increment f of c plus h and so on. So, for a function g of c not equal to 0, the quotient function f over g is defined in a neighborhood of c, and if both f and g are differentiable at c, then f over g is also differentiable at x equal to c, and the derivative of f over g. So, there is a dash missing here, f over g dash. So, there is a derivative of, so here should be a derivative, right. So, f over g derivative is given by this formula. So, how do you write this formula? G is in the denominator. So, the term in the denominator here appears as g c square. So, right. So, that is the term in the denominator, and for the numerator, this g of c goes up. So, g of c into f dash minus f of c into g dash. So, here is a difference coming in the quotient. In the product, it was a plus sign coming, right. So, that is a formula which unfortunately you will have to remember them once you want to apply them. So, you do more and more problems and then you will remember these formulas. But if one is proving these formulas, then one automatically remembers this formula. So, let me just repeat once again. First two properties of differentiation essentially give us what is called the linearity of the derivative, namely if f plus g, or if f and g are both differentiable, then f plus g, f minus g and alpha f all are differentiable functions. The derivative of f plus g is equal to the sum of the derivatives. The derivative of the scalar multiple is equal to scalar multiple of the derivative. For the sum and the product, for the product f into g dash, it is if f and g are differentiable, then f into g dash is differentiable, and each one contributes and the contributions are added together. So, what is the contribution of each? G gives you g dash with a multiple of f plus f dash with a multiple of g. So, this is the contribution of the both. So, that is the derivative of f plus g. For the quotient rule, the important condition is g of c not equal to 0. Once g of c is not equal to 0, it will not be 0 in a neighborhood, because differentiability also implies continuity, which we have not stated. But anyway, because this is an introductory course, we will be using these as the rules. So, basically for computation purposes, if g of c is not equal to 0, then f over g is also differentiable at the point c, and the derivative is given by this quotient formula. And the way to remember is that f over g, g is the quotient, so g c square, g c multiplied by f dash in the numerator minus f c into g dash of c. So, these are the rules which are very useful in computing the derivatives of functions. So, we will use them to compute our. So, let me give you some illustrations how to use this theorem. So, let us compute for the function phi x, which is 3x square plus 5x plus 2. So we can think of this as a function composed of adding by 3x square one function, to this you add another function 5x, and to this you add another function 2. So we can think of phi as a sum of 3 functions, right, and then we can apply the addition rule. So let us do that. So phi of x 3x square plus 5x plus 2. So if I think of as addition of 3 functions and use the sum formula, the rule for differentiation, it is 3x square plus 5x plus 2 derivative. Because 3x square is differentiable, 5x is differentiable, and the constant function is differentiable. So by the differentiation rule for the sum, this function is differentiable and its derivative is nothing but 3x square derivative plus 5x derivative plus the constant function 2 derivative. So 3x square, we saw the derivative of x square is 2 times x, so that is 6x, plus derivative of 5x, we saw it is 5. For the linear function y equal to mx, the derivative is the slope. For the constant function, it is 0. So that gives us 6x plus 5. So derivative of this using the quotient rule is 6x plus 5. Let us look at the next example. Let us find the derivative of x cube divided by 2x square plus 5. So our example is, we have got the function phi x, which is equal to x cube divided by 2x square plus 5. So we can think of it as 2 functions. In the numerator there is a function x cube, in the denominator there is a function 2x square plus 5. Since both functions are differentiable, so this function is differentiable at every point. Note that 2x square plus 5 denominator is never going to be equal to 0, because it is x square, right, plus 5. So whether x is positive or negative, this quantity is going to be positive. And whenever x is 0, this value is 5. So this is defined for every x belonging to R. So denominator is not equal to 0. So we can look at what is the derivative of x. So what is the derivative of x? Remember, this is a denominator. So first thing appears is 2x square plus 5 square. And now the same function goes up. So it is 2x square plus 5 into derivative of x cube. So that is the first term minus 2x square plus 5, the derivative of this into x cube. So this is how you write the derivative for the quotient rule. So basically what we are saying is, if this is the denominator, so then the denominator square comes, and the same denominator comes here into the derivative of x cube, and next term minus the derivative of the denominator into the numerator. So now we can compute this. So this is equal to 2x square plus 5 whole square, derivative of 2x square plus, so this is 2x square plus 5 as it is, and derivative of x cube. The derivative of x cube, like x square, is the power comes down 3, x to the power 3 minus 1. So that is the derivative, minus the derivative of 2x square, so that is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by x plus 5, right? Derivative of 5 is 0, constant, so we forget that, into x cube. So let us simplify this. So it is 2x square plus 5 into derivative, that is 3x square, minus 4x multiplied by x cube divided by 2x square plus 5. So this is how you will compute the derivative for a quotient function. So let us revise this. So phi x can be thought of as numerator is x cube, which is differentiable, 2x square plus 5, which is differentiable and is never equal to 0. So we can compute by the quotient rule, derivative is equal to 2x square plus 5 whole square, this goes up, 2x square plus 5 into derivative of x cube, that is 3x square, minus x cube as it is derivative of 2x square plus 5, and that is 4x. There is a mistake here, that 5 should not be there at all, that is 0. Okay, right. So which can be simplified, because so here it is correct. So there is even this is wrong here, this should not be there at all. Right. So what we showed earlier was okay. Right. Similarly, we can show by inductively the f(x) is equal to x to the power n is a differentiable function for every n, and by product rule the derivative is equal to f dash of x is equal to n x to the power n minus 1. The power comes down as a multiple and the power is reduced by 1 for every integer. Of course, when x is negative, this should 0 should not be taken at, or x is equal to 0, 1 over x is not differentiable, is not even defined actually. Right. Let us look at the next. It says that for n equal to 0, the function is constant, x to the power 0 is a constant function, so derivative is equal to 0. For the negative, as we have already indicated, for the quotient rule, this derivative is this, provided x is not equal to 0, because it is going to come in the denominator. Next, I am going to describe another important rule called chain rule. The chain rule is used when there is a composition of functions, function of a function. So we will state that first and then explain. So let y be a function of a variable u and u a function of a variable x. So it is a function of a function. So when you combine the two, right, x, gx takes it to a value u and f takes the value u to a value y. So when you compose the two, y is equal to f of g of x, then the composite becomes a function of one variable, that is x. Right. Suppose this is defined in a neighborhood of x equal to c, right, and is differentiable at the point x is equal to c. And the function g is differentiable at the point c and f is differentiable at the point g of c. So that also should be put as a condition. Then the composite function is differentiable, f composite g dash of x exists and is given by f dash of gx g dash of c. So it is chain kind of a thing coming. There is a composite function, its derivative is derivative of f, which is the function on the left side, at the point gx, that is the first term, into the contribution by g, that is g dash of x. One can also write as dy by dx at the point x is equal to c is dy by du. Y is a function of u, so dy by du makes sense, but at the point u, which is g of c, so dy by du at the point u equal to g of c into du by dx at the point c. So this is what is called a chain rule. So let me explain a bit more in slightly more elaborate way. What does chain rule mean? So basically what we are saying is, you got a point x and that goes into a point g of x. So this is the function g, and this by a function f goes to a value f of g of x, right. So x goes to g of x and f takes g of x to f takes g of x to g of. So you can call this as u. So u goes to f of u, right. So you can call this as your y. Y is f of u, okay, and u is g of x. So you can calculate, want to calculate what is f dash of u. F dash of u, that is same as f dash of, we want to calculate f, so the what is the so I have not written the composite function. So what is the composite function? The composite function is you take x, apply g to it and then apply to x. So x goes to, so that is a composite function, right, x goes to. So this is a function of one variable x. So we can ask, can I compute the derivative of f g of x. So, this is normally written as f composite g of x. So, what is the derivative of f composite g derivative at the point x equal to? So, one says this is the first function f, right. So, read this equation from the left side, f derivative at the point gx. See, f is defined at gx, right, f is defined as gx into the contribution of g, that is g dash of x. So, that is how you calculate the derivative of the composite function f composite g. Let us look at one example to understand it a bit more clearly. So, let us look at this function, right. F of x is equal to x square plus 3 raised to power 3, 5x square minus 6x plus 1 raised to power 4. So, to understand this, let us break into two parts. So, let us call, so my function is f of x is equal to x square plus 3 raised to power 3 into 5x square minus 6x plus 1 4. So, let us call this function as phi 1 and call this function as phi 2. So, what is phi 1 of x? That is equal to x square plus 3 raised to power 3. So, let us analyze this function separately. This is a function, you take a point x, look at x square plus 3 and then take the power cube. So, you can think it as a function of function, you can call u as x square plus 3, then this is nothing but u to the power cube. So, you can think of u as a function of x, right, and then phi as a function of u. So, you can write phi 1 of u equal to u cube, right, or you can write g of u equal to u cube. So, this is a composite function where phi 1 of x can be written as, you can write as x cube. So, this is the first function, right. So, it is x cube, so that is u cube, and so g of, you can write g of u, right, g of u is u cube, where u is equal to x cube plus 3, right. So, what is this? So, what is the function? If I look at the function u equal to x cube plus 3, that is differentiable, and g of u equal to u cube is differentiable. So, this function can be written as a composite function f composite g, right, or g composite f, whichever way you want to write it. So, I can write phi 1 of x is equal to, first write f of x and then write g of that. So, where g of, so this is equal to f of x. So, if I call this function as f of x equal to x cube plus 3, that is a function u, and gu equal to this, then this is phi 1, this function can be written as this. So, the function fx equal to x square plus 3, that is a function which is differentiable function of x. So, u is a differentiable function of x, right, and g is a differentiable function of u. So, g is differentiable, f is differentiable, so this function is differentiable, and what is phi 1 of x? So, the first function g, so it is g dash at f of x into f dash of x. So, what is that? By chain rule, g dash. So, what is g dash? That is 3u square, and what is u? U is equal to x square plus 3 from here. So, it is x square plus 3 square into f dash of x, so that is equal to 2x. So, that is the derivative of phi 1. Similarly, we can find out what is the derivative of phi 2. So, what is phi 2 of x? That is equal to 5x square minus 6x plus 1 to the power 4. So, we can write phi 2 of x is equal to, I can write it as g composite f of x where what is f of x, where f of x is equal to 5x square minus 6x plus 1, and what is g of u, that is equal to u to the power 4. So this is what is my u. So once we do that, what is phi 2 of derivative of phi 2? F is differentiable as a function of x, g is differentiable as a function of u. So by chain rule, phi is differentiable as a function of x, and this is given by g dash of f of x into f dash of x. So what is g dash? G dash is equal to, it's u to the power 4, so it is 4u cube, but u is equal to this, so it is equal to 5x square minus 6x plus 1 raised to power 3 into f dash of x. And what is f dash of x? That is equal to, f of x is this, so it is 10x minus 6. So that is f2 of x. So we can now write down the derivative of f of x, which was my original function. So derivative of, I can write down now the derivative of the original function. So derivative of this function x square plus 3 cube 5x square minus 6x plus 4 to the power 4. We call this as phi 1 of x into phi 2 of x. So what is the derivative of this? So phi 1, phi 2 derivative will be equal to, you can call this as first function into derivative of second, phi 1 of x into phi 2 dash of x plus phi 1 dash of x into phi 2 dash of x. So here I am using the product rule, and now we can put down the values of phi 1, phi 2 dash, phi 1 dash and phi 2 dash that we have already computed. So this is the way we calculate the derivative of complicated functions using our limit rules. So let me revise once again what is this we have done. So we looked at, we can call this as g1 into g2 of x. This function is g1, this function is g2. So g1x is equal to x square plus 3 raised to power 3. g2x is equal to x square, 5x square minus 6x plus 1 raised to power 4. So using the chain rule, you can compute the derivative of g1 and g2 separately first. So g1 dash of x is this power to the power 3. So that is like, treat this as one variable. So it is 3 times x square plus 3 raised to power 3 minus 1, that is 2, into derivative of an inner thing which is not x but is a function of x, so it is 2x. So by chain rule, the derivative of g1 is equal to this. Similarly, I can compute the derivative of g2x, sorry, the derivative of g2x. g2 is this function, so its derivative is, this power comes down as 4 into 5x square minus 6x plus 1, the power reduces by 1. So this is as if I have treated this as a variable u, so the power derivative of the power function, but this is not, we are differentiating with respect to x, so derivative of this with respect to x, that is 10x minus 6. So that is derivative of g1 and g2. Now derivative of f by product rule we can compute is equal to g1x into g2x, g2 dash x plus g1 dash x g2 by the product rule, and put the values of g1, g2 dash, g1 dash and g2, and comes out to equal to this. So that is how you use your chain rule to find out the derivative of complicated functions. So these rules will be using, you should do more and more practice of these things, so that you are given a function, you are able to compute the derivative of a function using these rules. In the next lecture, we will continue this discussion for some more special functions which we have looked at during our concept of limit and limits and continuity. So what we have done is, till now we have essentially looked at examples of polynomial functions and their derivatives. We will look at some functions like exponential functions and log functions and their derivatives in the next lecture. Thank you.